Namaste. This is third part of the book Miracle of Mindfulness, The Miracle of Mindfulness by Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm doing this review, basically my learnings of this book. So, continuing with the learnings, this third part is basically this is based on the third chapter, which basically says a day of mindfulness. So here in this chapter, Thai is basically asking us to observe a day of mindfulness. What Thai says is that each and every hour one should practice mindfulness, but this is easy to say, but not everyone can do it. That's why what he suggests is that every person should try hard to reserve one day out of the week to devote entirely to their practice of mindfulness. Okay, just to be just a disclaimer, I personally am not able to practice this day of mindfulness. Till now, I have not been, and with the kids and other family obligations, it becomes sometimes difficult to reserve an entire day out of your schedule to practice mindfulness. But it's a very good idea, and if it is possible for you, then you can do it, right? So what basically Thai says that set aside one day a week, right? So what Thai says is that in principle, every day, every moment you should practice, but it is not possible. So at least dedicate one day to this. Now, if it is a Saturday, then let it be Saturday. If it is a Sunday, then let it be Sunday. If it is Saturday or that particular day, that will be the lever that will lift you to the habit of practicing mindfulness, right? It will lift you to the habit of practicing mindfulness. Uh, and every Thai says every person has the right to have such a day. Otherwise, we will lose ourselves quickly in the life full of worry and action. So now the Thai says that basically when you set up, okay, so you decide one day that this day is my mindfulness day, right? So what I will suggest is that first have an agreement with your family that this day basically you will be spending most with yourself, and you will do things slowly and mindfully. So you need to first actually have some kind of a agreement with your family members, right? Get their buy-in, right? uh, because all these things, the support of family is crucial, right? If the support of family is there, then you can do all these things. But if the family support is not there, or it is not possible for you, then it becomes very difficult, right? So what Thai says that, um, figure out to set up a day of mindfulness, figure out a way to remind yourself, right? You can put something on the ceiling or on a wall or a paper with the word mindfulness, anything that will suggest to you as you open your eyes that today is the day of mindfulness, right? So some kind of a reminder should be there. It can be on your table or on your on your wall or somewhere, that this is your day of mindfulness. So on this day you don't schedule any meetings, you don't do any other work. It's your complete day of, for most people it will be Sunday, right? Okay. Or if you're not working, if you're a homemaker, then you can have any day as your mindfulness day. Okay. While so Thai says that, while you still, so right from the day when you start, how you should start your day. When you are lying in bed, begin slowly to follow your breath. That means don't just wake up. So what we do is that we generally wake ourselves up through an alarm. The alarm wakes us up, and we are like, we just in a frantic way, we wake up and we go about doing our jobs. Now here what Thai says is that when you are lying in bed, and first of all, maybe you don't use an alarm on that day. Let let yourself be awakened naturally. And when you wake up, still while you're lying in the bed, start to follow your breath, slow, long, and conscious breaths. Then slowly rise up from your bed instead of turning out all at once, nourishing mindfulness in every motion. So, the first movement in your day, should be a conscious movement, right? Each movement should be done calmly. Measure your steps with quiet, long breaths. After that, Thai says that after that comes bath. So Thai says that spend at least half an hour. So generally, what we do is, and I personally feel, and this is just my experience, that I can do everything mindfully. The only thing that I can't do mindfully and takes a lot of kind of effort is having a bath. Because this is the habit energy that pulls me in so much force, that when I have a bath, a lot of thoughts are running in me on what I need to do and all those things. Very difficult to maintain the mindfulness because I have a bath very quickly, like 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, done. What Thai says here, now understand, we are basically reversing our habit energies. These, if you actually observe, and I observed this in my COVID 7 days, I had COVID like last week, and I was in an oscillation, and I observed the kind of habit energies that I have, and every one of us has, that makes us continue doing things, makes us busy without reason. So I was able to observe that those habit energies are pushing me. So now we are here reversing the whole process. So what we do is spend at least half an hour taking a bath. Now can you imagine half an hour just for bath? Because this is your day of mindfulness, you have not reserved it for any other activity. So you have to devote half an hour to your bath slowly and mindfully, right? After that, so once you have your bath, then you can do your household work like washing dishes, dusting, wiping. Don't do them slowly and with ease in mindfulness. Don't do any task in order to get it over with. Resolve to do each job in a relaxed way with all your attention. Enjoy and be one with your work, right? So, whatever we do that work for the sake of doing that work, not from reaching from point A to point B, right? So, it's like we wash the dishes to wash the dishes, not for doing something, not for the cup of tea that we get after washing the dishes, right? So take the example of Zen masters. No matter what task or motion they undertake, they do it slowly and evenly without reluctance. Half of the things, if we look at, we do it with an underlying resistance or reluctance to what we need to do, right? We are not really happy in doing that. So here where we have to be conscious and happy in performing our duties in slowly and with mindfulness. Thai says that those who are beginning to practice, who are beginners, they can maintain the spirit of silence throughout the day. So Thai says you can do everything, you can talk, you can sing everything, but keep it to the minimum. Try to maintain more and more silence throughout the day. Thai says that, but be conscious of the fact that if you are talking, you should be aware of that you are talking. If you are singing, you should be aware that you are singing. Now, Thai basically warns that if you talk or sing too much, the only problem is that you can lose your mindfulness if your strength of mindfulness in you is not very strong. There is a high chance that you can lose your mindfulness. So, better to be more and more silent in this day. Now comes lunchtime. Now, Thai says, prepare a meal, cook the meal, wash the dishes in mindfulness, right? Uh, Listen to this. Don't drink your tea like someone who gulps down a cup of coffee during a work break. So how we do in our meetings. We just bring a cup of coffee, and our next meeting is about to start in 5 minutes. The meeting is about to start, so we just gulp our coffee. This is the normal way of we do things. And now see these things slowly in my routine. I have made these changes. That if I have like a call that is coming up or I have a session that is coming up, I prefer not to just have my coffee or tea before that, because then I will not be able to enjoy. For me, as important is as that meeting is, or that call is, or that workshop is, or session is, that same importance I give to my tea, right? So I schedule it a bit earlier so that I can enjoy it. And these are some small changes we can make. So if you have to reach somewhere at 9 o'clock, what we basically do is that we dilly dally, and then we leave home late. And then in that whole time that we are commuting, our only uh, worry is that we should reach on time. Better leave home from on time, a bit early, 15 minutes early. If you leave just, so it's just a matter of that 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes will help you, that during this 1 hour or half an hour commute that you are doing, you will be able to be mindful. You will reach there 10, that you will reach there 10 minutes or 5 minutes early. So you will not have that worry playing in your mind. This is basically, these small things go a long way in improving the quality of your and my life. And this is what we need to do, right? Making those small changes, so that every moment we can be more and more mindful. Okay. Okay. So Thai, listen to this. Thai says, drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the whole earth revolves, slowly, evenly, without rushing towards the future. Live the actual moment. Only this actual moment is life. Don't be attached to the future. Don't worry about the things you have to do. What we do is that when we drink our tea, our total attention is to the future moment of all the things that I need to do for the day, what someone said, how someone is, looking at your shortcomings of other people, thinking about shortcomings of other people or shortcomings of oneself. So this is all I'm saying from my own experience, right? Now, the difference is that I'm becoming more aware that I have these imperfections in me as I practice mindfulness more and more, right? Don't think about getting up or taking off to do anything. Don't think about departing, right? So, again, I'll say the one word. When you drink tea, think of it as that tea is the axis on which the whole world is revolving. That is how important your tea is, and your full focus should be drinking that tea, right? Joyfully, mindfully. Okay. Then in the evening, Thai says you might read a scripture and copy passages, write letters to friends, or do anything you enjoy outside of your normal duties of work. But whatever you do, do it in mindfulness. Eat only little for the evening meal. Right now, Thai says again. Thai comes back on the eating bit, as we discussed in the last thing, also last chapter, last part, that evening meal, try to have a light meal, because then what Thai says that around 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock you again sit in your meditation, right? So you can do meditation maybe in the evening like 6 7 p.m. once you have finished and done with your work, or you can do it at around 10 o'clock in the night. So that way, if you have a light meal, then it will help you to do your meditation peacefully. And then afterwards you may take a slow walk. I when I'm reading all these things, no, I feel such nourishment, right? Just by reading all these things, you can actually see, I have even underlined things and everywhere. So I really like that way of reading a book, and I can feel Thai's energy while reading that book. So I'll always suggest, and I in every video generally I suggest that this is basically just to all these videos that I'm making is the purpose of these videos is basically to raise your interest level in mindfulness so that you can practice mindfulness and you can read this book for yourself. It's the energy of the book is very very nice, right? So Thai says, take a slow walk in the fresh night air, following your breath in mindfulness and measuring the length of your breaths by your steps, which is the walking meditation, right? Finally you return to your room and sleep in mindfulness. So Thai says that somehow, okay, and this is a learning for me, I will also try to practice it. Somehow, Thai says we must find a way to allow each worker a day of mindfulness. Such a day is crucial, its effect on the other days is immeasurable. Thai says 10 years ago, thanks to these such a day of mindfulness, Shu Wan and other sisters and brothers in the Type Hein order were able to guide themselves through many difficult times. So the lesson and the message here is that irrespective of the fact that we may have a difficult life right now, we may have a difficult life situation right now, still if we practice these ways of mindfulness, it will help us sail through the difficult times, sail through the storm, and reach the other shore and not get drowned. Thai says that after only 3 months of observing such a day of mindfulness once a week, I know that you will see a significant changes in your life just by 3 months. So 3 months into 4 weeks, 12 days, 12 days of mindfulness like this, you will see a lot of change in you, your awareness level, and the day of mindfulness will begin to penetrate the other days of your life, of your week, right? Right, enabling you to eventually live 7 days a week in mindfulness. And Thai ends with saying that I'm sure you agree with me on the day of mindfulness's importance. So yes, definitely agreed, and I think it was a very useful chapter. Every one of us. So okay, a twist here is that I'm saying that okay, if you cannot practice one full day, if I cannot practice one full day, can I practice half day of mindfulness? right? From morning to like 2 p.m. So what I can agree with my family is that maybe the first half is my own first half, and then the rest second half, the rest second half of the Sunday can be to my family, and or it can be like till 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and then after that I can have my family time. So think about those lines in a small, even in a small way. If you can implement, if we can all implement it, it will be really be wonderful for our raising our mindfulness level and increasing the quality of our life, increasing the joy in our life, increasing the peace in our life. Ultimately, that is all what we all strive for, right? Doing everything, right? Okay. So thank you so much for watching this video or listening to this podcast. Uh, just for those who are not aware, we are now on Spotify also. So if you like kind of a not a video form but like a distraction free experience of listening, then you can check us out in Spotify. It's Lighthouse Souls podcast is available. Okay, and one more thing before I go is that I've created a Facebook group where it's a free Facebook group where you can, if you are interested to learn more about mindfulness, try to post small things, small information there, tips and insights. So you can join that group. The link is there in the description to this video. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you. And next time we will take up the chapter 4, right? So thank you so much. Good day. God bless you. Bye.